roar and tumble at your name. Angels will bow, the earth will rejoice, your people cry out. Lord of all the earth, we shout your name, filling up the skies with endless praise, endless praise. Yahweh, Yahweh, we love to shout your name, oh Lord. Shout your name. The morning breaks in glory. Shout your name. Creation sings your story. At your name, angels will bow, the earth will rejoice, your people cry out. Lord of all the earth, we shout your name, filling up the skies with endless praise, endless praise. Yahweh, Yahweh, we love to shout your name, oh Lord.
we should do this in your own way, the way that God designed you, your personality, the way He built you. We just take a moment just to give Him thanks.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Father.
Father, we thank you for
Thank you, Lord.
all of this last week. We got to be together with family.
Yes.
God, we got to tell one another, those that love us and those that we love. We got to tell them how much we appreciate them. God, most of all, you've given us so much. You've given us so much to be thankful for. What a wonderful week it's been, even with the ups and the downs, Lord. You are still on the throne. You are still pouring out your blessings. God, we can't thank you enough today for what you've done for us. Each one of us, as we stand here in this building, we know, we understand that it's only by your grace that we're here.
Yes.
God, you brought us through so much. And you've shown us so much. You brought us to the place we're at in our life right now, that we may know you more, that we may understand you more, that we may worship you in freedom. God, we're so thankful that you sent your Son Jesus, that this season has millions of people celebrating Christmas. And God, we know why we celebrate. It's because of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the Master of all the universe.
Yes.
He is the one that we celebrate this season. We thank you for that, Father, that gift of your Son, Jesus. We give you glory. We give you honor. We give you praise today. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Please be seated. I'm sure all of you have noticed the roads, how busy they've been. You say that we're supposed to have record numbers. I don't know where they come up with that, but I always think that they're record numbers everywhere I go, trying to get back and forth. And any of you that have traveled from here to Los Angeles, or even to the east, to the desert, the Coachella Valley, everything is just packed. The stores are packed. And we are just in a metropolitan area, and you just got to get used to it. I was reading, how many of you, when you're driving, do you pay attention to the other cars? You ever look at the other cars like I do? Come on, you guys. I know you look at the cars. You look at that, there's a Lexus. There's an Infiniti. Or you can see a car like Pastor Wayne's, and you can say, hey, that thing's supposed to be making a bunch of noise. A Corvette that's electric powered. There's no noise coming out of it. And we've got all the Lamborghinis, and we've got the Maseratis, and we've got the Porsches, and the Mercedes, and all these cars. Well, a lot of times I look at the cars, and I wonder how they are still running. You ever seen those cars that are riding next to you? And I was reading this last week, and I couldn't help but think about it as I was going over this scripture, and thinking about all the interruptions in our life, and looking at the whole story of Mary, and we're going to talk about that for a minute today, and seeing how Jesus came to earth in the most amazing way, but yet the most unusual way. Well, I look at these cars, and I was reading this book, and how many of you have ever seen a car that you wonder how it's still running down the road? We will come upon all these brake lights, and we're wondering, oh, why are they stopping? And then you drive a little bit further, and you get past all the traffic, and there's this guy that's going about 20 miles an hour on a 65-mile-an-hour speed limit, and the car's going. You ever heard a car like that? Well, I was reading, and it had this illustration, and it was a true story. This guy saw this car, and I just laughed as I was reading it, because the whole car looked like it was wired together. It just had the fenders and everything. You could see the baling wire, you could see the duct tape. How many of you have ever seen the duct tape bumpers? And so I'm reading this story, and the guy says this car looks like the whole thing's wired together. And he's got a big bumper sticker on the back of his window, the rear window, and it says honk if anything falls off. I don't know, I laughed in my private study because I thought, you know, God holds everything together. And in looking at this message and looking at what I've been looking and reading about interruptions and about the Bible from Genesis all the way to the end of Revelation, and I want to start out with this scripture today, found in Colossians chapter 1. And it sums up a lot of our lives, those of us that have decided to follow Christ, those of us that have set everything else aside. We look at this scripture and it sums up so much of who we are and what we have to look forward to. And the Apostle Paul here, he writes, for everything, absolutely everything, above and below, visible and invisible, rank after rank after rank of angels, everything got started in him and finds its purpose in him, Jesus. And when you live this way, when you begin to remind yourself of all the times that you've gone through, the struggles, times when you didn't know how you were going to make it, and then you read a scripture like this from Apostle Paul, and you realize that he was there before any of it came into existence, and he holds it all together right up to this moment. And when it comes to the church, he organizes and holds it together like a head does a body. So you come to a point in your life, and as you get older, you realize when you watch the news and you see how many people didn't make it to our age, and you realize how thankful we can be that we actually are here today. And it's real easy during this season of Black Friday and all the busyness of shopping and everything that's going on to forget how blessed we are. No matter what the circumstances, we are so blessed. And God always uses our struggles to accomplish His will. When you read in the text all the way through the Bible, you see struggle after struggle from Genesis all the way up till Christ came. And then you begin to see that it's good for us all to remember that Christ holds it all together. And then in these struggles that He always accomplishes something much greater than what we can see at the present moment. And this is what is, for me, it's always exciting, and it may sound like, well, that's not really a good way to think, and you're not living in reality. When you get a phone call, and it's not so good, you can either look at the actual circumstance, or you can look at what we just read, that God holds it all together. And then you can begin to see it in a different context. You can perceive, your perception becomes all the more clear that God, it may not look so good right now. The circumstance and all the reality that's surrounding this situation, it may not look so good, but God, I'm going to praise you anyway. I'm going to give you thanks anyway, because you've always brought me through all the things I look back in the past that looked like I wasn't going to make it through, and you always on the other side of it, I can look back in hindsight and say, God, look, you got me through again. Now that'll get you through again, over and over and over again, because you know God holds it all together.